Welcome to We're Talking Bears, the show where uncle, nephew, and son bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience. I'm Uncle,
I'm nephew.
I'm son.
and we're talking Bears.
Why did you wait so long? Why, I'm trying to work the timing, and you just wait.
Yeah, I know. He always
That
does
was
the
awkward, man.
hesitation.
Like,
His cadence is insane.
where are we going with this? Is this getting better or is it getting worse? I don't know.
I'll be trying to get on Unt's cadence.
Good,
Sometimes
better,
I just let him
best.
take it.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I knew this year was when I started hearing him saying that. I'm like, it just made me think of Saint C all over again.
Mm-hmm.
The first place I ever heard that. I'm like, who? I didn't know Ben Johnson went to Saint C.
Right.
71st and Calumet.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nice mantra. Definitely a nice mantra.
He did steal that.
I know he did. I'm just trying to figure out who is letting out our secrets.
Cool. That's cool, man. I like that that's staying in Chicago. I like that that's become, their thing. It feels like a little bit of home. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yep. Hey, it's not wrong. It's not wrong for us to use it here.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But as I've said, it's time to discuss my disgust.
How you feeling? It sounds
right.
like you're expressing it right now. Go ahead, open up.
I can't lie. I'm we've already solidified taking the North, which was good. Green Bay lost, so of course we expected that. The cheese heads, we took them down and they lost again. So we've got that solidified and sewn up. I definitely was looking forward to closing out with all wins. I was optimistic about it, and I wanted to see us finish 13-4. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I'm not down on the team completely because I still have high hopes for us going into the playoffs. This was a good test because Green Bay, the 49ers will also be there. Don't know if we'll see them later on down the road, but it was a good opportunity and a good challenge for us this game because we were unable to, since early in the game, or we had a few stops, but we really didn't stop them at all this game. And so that's something that I'm hoping moving forward we can figure something out defensively. I know that's a weak spot for us compared to our offense. But I was a little bit, my disgust wasn't necessarily how they played. It was a great game, shootout, great to watch, great football. I was just a little upset that we didn't get it done as we've been getting it done most of the year. And I feel like we had opportunities to do so. We started off the game with a pick six, which was incredible. I was turned up, ready to see some good things. Then we proceeded to watch them almost every possession march down the field and score. It just upset me that as we're matching them all game, we get to the end of the game and we get 3 instead of 6. There was a call that we got a second turnover in the end zone that I felt like we got a bogus call against us. But hey, this sports, this is football. You're professionals, and what we've all learned from playing sports ourselves, unless you're cool with losing, you can't blame the referees because at the end of the day, if you're going to leave the game in their hands, then it's going to turn out however it turns out. I still feel like we had an opportunity to pull it out and we just didn't do it. So that's my disgust, man. But all in all, I felt like we did good. We did well. We just got some things to tighten up because I don't want to see us lose in this fashion going into the playoffs. Like I said, I've got high expectations for us. And so that's mostly what my disgust is moving forward, knowing we're going to be in the playoffs, knowing that these are teams that are also going to be in the playoffs. Well, the 49ers and even the Packers game, I didn't feel like we played up to what I would have hoped for us that game. There's just some things I want to see us get together when it's win or go home.
Yeah, I think we've learned some lessons. We learned some lessons about who we are. We also learned some lessons about who we aren't. We are, again, this is the third time this year defensively we've got blown out. We got blown out against the Lions. We got blown out. Who was the next blowout? Baltimore ate our lunch. Actually, fourth time. Cincinnati ate our lunch, and now the 49ers. We've got some serious gashes in defense, and there's some serious things that have to be addressed in the offseason. That's just a reality for us. The second thing also is I think that I don't know if we were using this game as a training. because say, okay, let's put Caleb under the fire and let's have him pass his way through. Kind of felt like, we don't want to run. We didn't 17 rushes between Swift and Monangai is totally uncharacteristic of our team. They were about half of what they average on the ground. And, get running up for us is not giving up because we'll get 8, 9, 10, 15, 25, 35 on a run, right? So you can't sit back and say it wasn't going to keep pace. As a matter of fact, the most crucial down that I thought we should have run, we get the pick six, we're up 7-0. We get the ball back, we get 7 yards on first down, it's 2nd and 3. Run the ball, give me the next first down. We end up punting. Run the ball, get me the next first down. You want to throw some more after that? That's fine. But get that first down of the game. It's 2nd and 3. You know we can get that on the ground. You know we can get 3 yards. Get the first down, then start playing. That's show up for work. Show up for work. That's how I'm feeling. What you got, son?
Man, I'm kind of in the same camp as you. There's the part of it that, Caleb was dealing at certain points of the game, and I understand trying to keep your quarterback's confidence in it in a shootout like that where they're scoring quickly. But on the other side of the coin, give your defense some help, man. Slow them down, burn some clock, take the ball away from them, let your guys get a little rest. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 49ers are a really good team. Let's be real. To be able to put up that many points on anybody, that matters. The quality of the opponent we're facing. This is one of the best teams we played all year, no doubt. But at the same time, man, I want to see us play our best football in those games. And from when it comes to what I expected from the beginning of the season, we're way ahead of that. Way ahead of that. The key thing that I think is the takeaway from this game is that we know who we are. We're 100% a running team. We have to stay that. We have to keep our identity. Obviously, not having Rome hurts. Obviously, not having Theo Benedict and Braxton Jones and some of the guys on the offensive line, especially at that left tackle spot. It helps. It helps to have the guys in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives you some creativity. Ben Johnson loves to put an athletic lineman in space, all kind of stuff. Like, so it changes the kind of things you can do in the personnel groups and all that stuff, right? So obviously, having the injuries that we have, thankfully they've avoided the interior O-line, which was my biggest concern going into the season. But at some point you have to look and say, okay, this is where we're weak because of injuries, and this is where we're weak because we were never good in the first place. And defensive line, more and more, is looking like the latter. I like some of what I saw from Austin Booker, the aggressiveness on the pass rush. But at the end of the day, that group needs a superstar added to the mix. They need an injection of talent that you can only get at the top of a draft, really. They need somebody who's really going to pressure opposing offenses and make it so that a 4-man rush actually gets there. Otherwise, we got to completely change our scheme, and we got to blitz more, and we got to try to get there with 6, 7, and run some man coverage on the back end. But we don't do a lot of that. You're muted somehow. I don't know why you're muted.
Also, while you're looking at that, is our ability to play man defense. It looks pretty ugly. Every time we go to man,
part of,
we're getting burnt.
Kyler Gordon is injured, and I don't know where Tyreek Stevenson's been. I haven't really seen his number and his jersey out there. So I don't know if Nashawn Wright just kind of took his spot and he's on the bench. But man, some of that tenaciousness is missed from that slot and from those more aggressive corners. Because Nashawn Wright, as good as he is in coverage, man, he ain't all that against the run right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him. I don't see him stepping up and hitting people.
But I'm gonna say,
like on the edge.
I want to push this point. We've been burnt in man-to-man a lot. We've been burnt a lot in man-to-man, multiple teams, and we were out there playing a lot of man-to-man, and we were getting smoked.
I
We're
agree.
getting
That's what I said. It
smoked.
would be a change. It would be a
Just
change of the scheme
it's not
if we
just
can't
the
get there with
defensive
4.
line. It's not just the defensive line. You've got to be able to cover man-to-man. You got to be able to cover for 3 seconds minimum. 3 seconds. You got to be able to cover the guy for 3 seconds.
No
rush to get there in 3 seconds, man. Nobody can get there in 3 seconds.
We're changing defenses. We don't have the personnel the way that our new coaches would want them in an ideal world. You know, like Dennis Allen just came from the Saints, where he had Marshawn Lattimore and some of those other guys at corner that they just have a different skill set. You know what I mean? They're both good corners. It's just different skill sets between him and Jalen Johnson as the number 1 corner. So as the coach, you've got to get that dialed in, and you've got to get the maximum out of your players. And if that means that you got to send more blitzes to get that pressure, then that's what you got to do. If it means that you got to change the players so that they fit the scheme that you want, that's going to take some time, and we're going to expect like a longer wait before this defense is really competitive the same way the offense is.
And honestly, I understand Tremaine is great at turning the ball over, but is he good in coverage?
I would say good, yes. I would say good, yes. He makes throwing the middle difficult, no matter where you are. What I don't like from Tremaine is like how susceptible he is to like outbreaking routes, and he's not a huge like enforcer in the run game. You know, like that's the 2 things about Tremaine.
No, he's not an enforcer.
He'll improve.
He's not blowing guys up.
Yeah. So those are the 2 things about his game that I would say still he has room to improve on.
He's not annihilating guys. Guys aren't like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, and I would say if he could do those things, if he could work those flat routes and the rolls and the unders and the over balls, like if he could cover those with the same effectiveness that he covers those seams and posts and shots up the middle, then man, he would be in the conversation as one of the top linebackers in football. So he's still young, you know, he has more ceiling, more room to grow into that role, but we got to see him do it. So
yeah, we got to there's a lot of when you're getting blown out, when you've got multiple games where the other team has scored over 40, and we were in the shootout every game. It wasn't that. I'm just saying from a defensive standpoint. Obviously, we were in this thing all the way to the final snap, but from a defensive standpoint, you're giving up 40 points in multiple games. You've got defensive problems across your entire defense, and we can't say this time it's because our starters weren't there. Because our big money boys were all out there. Jalen was there, Tremaine was there, our safeties were there.
Really, the only
guy we were missing was Kyler Gordon.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he is very important to this defense. Don't get me wrong.
He may be very important, but he can't be 20 points worth of important.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
You gotta have somebody. You gotta have a next man. You gotta have a next man that can give you something.
Yeah, we've got some this. And I'm not totally sold on Dennis Allen, right? I mean, maybe he's not the right guy.
Yeah, I would say, look, this defense has been one of the most injured groups in the entire NFL. Even the guys that we've just gotten back are still kind of like just tuning back up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit here and judge this hastily based on one injury-riddled season. But I will say that as we go into the playoffs and as we get healthy, I expect a higher standard.
Right. Well, I expected a higher standard here. That's and I'm not going to say it wasn't complimentary football. The offense didn't grind out the game at all. And honestly, if we played the right game, again, it should have been 14-0 to start, and they should have been chasing us. That's the one thing. Yeah. The second thing is, I don't know what the heck we were doing against Brock Purdy. No offense. I mean, Brock Purdy played a heck of a game. It just absolutely ridiculous. He outshined Caleb. He played a heck of a game. 3 in the air and 2 on the ground. But at the same time, come on, man, they're missing this guy like he's Michael Vick. He doesn't have Michael Vick speed. He doesn't have Michael
Yeah,
Vick speed.
yeah.
He's
But that's what I'm
he's a
talking about. That's what I'm talking
he's
about.
a 4-7
At
guy.
some
What
point, we
are
have
we
to
doing?
get one of those elite
we're
guys to go chase these quarterbacks.
But I mean,
nobody
I'm not even talking about elite guys.
No, nobody on our line has
He's not faster than
elite
Booker.
athleticism.
He's not
about
faster
that.
than
It's
Booker.
not about that. It's about the fact that he's
getting
250.
shaken.
He's what, 6'1" and 215 pounds, and he's changing direction on guys that are 6'5", 270, 6'5", 280, and he can just do that faster than they can. And if he can create a little bit of space, then these big guys we have, they're not elite athletes like you see. Like, he wouldn't have got away from Micah Parsons. He wouldn't have got away from TJ Watt. He wouldn't have got away from none of those guys. He wouldn't have got away from Brian Burns. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to improve at that defensive line position. Like, the whole line across the board has to either step up in a big way and start really being able to shut the game down with just the front four, at least one aspect of the game, either the pass rush or the run. Like, come on, pick one and be good at it. You know what I mean? Like, if
know what you mean.
Stop, cool. We could get blitzing, nickels and safeties and backers and all that, and run blitzing backers with a good run stop and D. Like, cool, be good at that. If you're good at pass rush, cool, we'll have some big run stop and D linemen, or linebackers. But like, you got to pick a struggle, man. We can't get run off by Christian McCaffrey busting out 150 yards on the ground, 140 yards on the ground, and at the same time letting Brock Purdy run around in the backfield for 3 hours. Like,
right.
Come on now,
making you look stupid. Making you look stupid.
And I agree. This is a really good team. San Francisco has been doing what they do. Their same scheme, their same coach, their same defensive, their base defensive set has been essentially the same for what going on 10 years now. Okay,
their defense sucks too, because we
their defense is more injured than ours right now. So
right.
Let's not
excuses.
We put 38 up with no Fred Warner out there.
Points on them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying their defense is banged up too. So we did put up points, but this isn't the model of success that I want us to be chasing. You understand? Like, we need to make some structural investments in personnel on the D line. We need some elite athletic ability on the D line. I like Austin Booker. Yeah. I think Austin Booker can be a fantastic contributor for a very long time. Unless he shows us a little bit more of some really, really elite pass rush, it's going to limit how much time we can put him out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think his pass rush is coming on strong.
With him, at least rotate with him to complement where he's not at that level yet. To really play with these elite teams. His pass rush is coming on strong.
His pass rush is coming on strong. You gotta
agree.
The referees took away that sack against Green Bay.
I'm not saying
he's almost
I'm not saying his pass rush is not coming on strong. I'm just saying that at this current juncture, right? I think he can be a 10 sack guy, which is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he could be a 10 sack guy. Issues being, when you're in a critical game against the backup left tackle because Trent Williams is out, now you've got the best mismatch on our whole defense. I want to see you use it consistently in those moments and affect the game. And that's
That's
not what we saw. Yeah. Even if you're not getting the sacks, get the pressures, make him throw bad passes, give us something that we can work with out of that bad matchup that you now have to exploit. So that's what I mean. Like, we need to either get some more guys in here that are that elite level, a top 5 level rusher, or we need to get some supplementary guys in that can rotate and give us a little bit more, because right now we're not getting either of those things.
Well, I'm going to tell you the bad news is looking forward to next year is there's nobody like that in free agency.
I know that this past year was the year for that. That's the bad news. Getting a free agent like that,
No, you're gonna have to get lucky in the draft, and just because you draft them high doesn't mean
They're going to be
they're
that guy.
great.
Yeah.
Right, right. And it doesn't. It also doesn't tell you how long it takes to develop. Will Anderson, I count him as a really good pass rusher, but it took him a little while. He didn't immediately just take over the NFL.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I would
you
say
know.
he's not at that like take over the NFL level, but I mean,
No,
everybody kind of
no.
knew going in. Will Anderson was a little light. He didn't have the weight and strength that you would really want at the time. And he was going to be kind of a lighter edge for a power based guy, and he's kind of starting to grow into that, and now he's gotten better. And the same thing may happen with Austin Booker, where he just continues to get bigger and stronger throughout his years of
Right.
play. But right now we're not there yet, and
We're not
that's
there yet. And then who knew that Myles Garrett? I mean, I knew he went one overall, but
right.
who knew that he would be as fast and quick and have the amount of change direction because he's a giant.
Yeah.
Again, Brock Purdy wouldn't have shook Miles.
No, yeah, of course.
Right.
So look, all I'm saying,
the physical size has nothing to do with it.
All I'm saying is, to me, this was the biggest weakness that was exposed that San Francisco just consistently.
We got exposed.
They just consistently exploited that, and you're going to expect teams to try to follow the formula that they set. Structurally, I haven't really gone back and looked to see exactly how they did it to us, but I'm willing to bet that teams are going to try to copycat that as early as next week against the Lions. So expect to see
the Lions are going to try, and the Lions have the weapons to do it. Amon-Ra. Hey, but let's talk a little bit about the positives. Caleb Williams, 25 of 42 for 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, 100 rating.
He wants that 4K.
Man.
Yeah, he's
almost there. 270 away from the 4K. And I think that was part of the game plan was let's give him a chance to get the 4,000. I really do, because it just didn't make any sense. Because Swift had 9 rushes for 54 and 2 touchdowns. Come on, let's think about this. Swift had 9 rushes, got 2 touchdowns on that. Monangai had 8 rushes for 38 yards, almost 5 a carry. So it was no reason not to run them except for you were trying to let Caleb pass 40 plus times and get his numbers.
Yeah,
maybe it's the old rope-a-dope, man. We've got our spot, like you said. Give him an opportunity to chase the record. I don't necessarily like it. I would have liked to get the win because I absolutely think we didn't run the rock enough, and it was many opportunities that we had. Offensively, we looked pretty good. My thing is the reason I was disappointed in us not running the rock is because taking the ball away in the beginning made them have to chase us. And then somehow, some way, with the few stops that we did get within the game, we ended up chasing them most of the game. So it was like, in games like that, especially when you know your defense is your weak point and you're struggling to get stops, you got to take advantage when you get the rock and when you get an opportunity to score. You can't have empty trips more than they do when you're not stopping them. It just mathematically ain't gonna work for you. So when you kick off the game in that fashion, we just had one too many missed opportunities going down the field on them. And think about it, at the end of the game, as beat up as we got defensively, we gave ourselves an opportunity in the end to be in a tie and march down the field, and we had an opportunity to go up a touchdown. We didn't. They scored a touchdown, and we still got marched back down the field and had an opportunity to win the game, being down 4 points. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives to look at because most games this season, outside of that Lions game, as weak as our defense has looked in some of these contests, like you said, giving up all the points, we're still there at the end of the game with an opportunity to win. I don't know if it's, like I said, the Lions blew us out, but Green Bay's game, we threw the pick. The first Green Bay game, we threw the pick. That's an opportunity to win. Out of our 5 losses, we really could have 2 or 3 losses this season. And so for me, that's something to be optimistic about, because that just shows the strength of our offense. So I don't know if that was Ben Johnson and their idea to say, okay, Caleb is right here. We've already clinched our spot. Let's let him pass the ball and see if he can get the 4K, because win or lose, we'll be there. But if that is, to me, I'm not so much upset with that, because even with that, we still had an opportunity to win the game. And I'm not going to be convinced that if we didn't run the ball how we typically do, that we don't take this game. They had us on time of possession substantially, maybe until the last couple of drives. And I don't know how it ended out at the end of the game, but the drive before last, I know the last one we were kind of rushing down the field, but the drive before that, we took some good time off the clock, and they had about 9 minutes in time of possession over us at that time. So if we're running the rock, like you said, we kick the game off, get that first down when we first come back on the field up 7-0, get those first downs running the rock. I think we easily take time of possession, and I think we end up scoring more points than them, because their team has to work more, like you said, because give your defense a chance to rest, keep their guys on the field. If you have these guys chasing around Swift and Monangai, now they have to commit to trying to stop the run too. They're winded. And when you come out there just passing, when they get off the field 3 and out, 4 and out, let's be real. Like you have a little more energy to make those plays when those third downs come up, or you know what I'm saying. You have a little more energy to make those plays versus this is the 12th, 15th play of the drive, and I'm gassed out here, and then you're exploiting us. So I absolutely think that you're probably right as far as them trying to allow Caleb to get those yards, because it just doesn't make sense with how well we run the rock, and even how well we ran the rock in this game, that we didn't make that a focal point in our offense.
Yeah. I think that was part of it, and also now we don't have to overuse Caleb for him to get the 4,000. He needs 270 now to get the 4,000. That's a normal game for him. The game where Monangai had 176 on the ground, he had 280. So this is not an issue. And let me do a quick retraction. Baltimore only dropped 30 on us. It just felt worse. It felt worse.
That 30 is a lot. Okay,
30 is a lot.
For a backup quarterback to have dropped on you is bad. It's bad.
30's was bad, because it was.
Yeah, but that wasn't Lamar. That was Tyler Huntley doing that to us.
That's true. But I'm still gonna say 30's a reasonable loss, right? 40s, in the 50s, these aren't reasonable. That's not defense. That's like old school Western Conference basketball. There's just no defense, all shooting.
Just shoot until you can't. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I think though this was a good test. I'm glad that we kind of got this out of our system earlier rather than later, prior to the playoffs, whereas win or go home. I don't want us to be thinking like this and playing like this when we roll into the playoffs, thinking that we can't have a possession off, a play off. Like, we got to be really on it every single play.
We kind of, it's the
every
playoffs.
single drive. Yeah, I know. You didn't catch that pun there.
There's a record number of 11-win teams in the NFL this year. There's 11 teams with 11 wins.
So if we walk into this, postseason, if we walk into this postseason and we're not on our P's and Q's, we could get bounced first round like it's nothing.
Anybody can be bounced.
So we need to. So we need
everybody's
to be,
an 11-win team
week against the Lions and make sure we get the best seeding we can. In that, what are we, second? If we win,
we're second. If we beat the Lions, if we lose to the Lions, we're third.
Yeah. So we don't want to invite that trouble, because it could still be. We could play the 49ers again if we're third.
Well, we're going to end up playing the Packers. The Packers are 7. The Packers are 7.
I would rather play the Packers with no Jordan Love and no Micah Parsons than play the 49ers again if we move to the third seed or whatever it is.
Well, if we play the 49ers again and we can't figure out how to slow Brock Purdy, then
we need to figure out how to slow Christian McCaffrey too, because he had 180. So, like I said, We need to
Yeah.
win this game. This is a must win for a serious playoff run. It just
I'll
is.
tell you this though. One way for sure I know we can slow him is time of possession and running the rock, because that slows everything. So I hear you and I'm with
Get
you.
him off the
We still
field.
got to go out there and make stops on defense. But hey, when you take a lead, you hold on to it. And they didn't show us they could stop us either. We just put them in positions to be able to have more time possession and be on the field and keep our defense out there who's struggling. And we got them out there winded and gassed. So that's the way that you slow down Brock Purdy, when you know your defense is a sore spot for you.
Yep.
I got you. I agree with you. I agree with you. 100%. No argument.
I think we'll be
Y'all
fine.
got anything else?
It does look like we'll be seeing the Packers, is what I'm thinking. So yeah, I wanted to ask that is this last game, is that what you were saying? This last game has implications for who we'll match up with between the Niners and the Packers?
Yeah, exactly. It might not be Niners. It could be Niners or Seahawks, depending on who wins their game in Week 17.
I'll say this, man. I've been watching a lot of football, and I'll say this: I know you have matchups, and looking at it, I can say I'd rather see the Packers, or But my thing is this: all of these teams that we're discussing that are playoff teams, even if we see the Packers first and we win, we got to see one of those teams next. So my attitude is always be prepared. Sometimes it's good for me personally. Bring on the best you got. And when you beat those teams, you give your team some confidence. Like, don't go in there with your heads tucked between your tail. Don't go in there thinking that you're not that we're looking for a particular matchup. If we're trying to win and we know all these teams are the teams that are in our way, bring us whoever you got. We just got to be ready to play ball, man. And I think we can compete, and I think we have a legitimate shot at beating any of these teams. We just got to play our game and do what we do best. And as far as that defense goes, man, they got to be clicking. And again, in this game, one last thing, that interception in the end zone was huge, man. I don't make excuses. We can't blame the refs, but I don't think that was a good call, and that changes the entire complexion of the game. So they didn't do terrible. They got the first pick six, turn the tide to give us to have them chasing us. And they did make some plays down the stretch like that pick. Unfortunately, a bad call, it was taken away from us. So I think these guys know what it takes. I think they play with some heart. I say bring on whoever you got.
Okay. Yeah, and I hear you. And the other thing is, honestly, if we have to play if we have to play the 49ers, the Seahawks, or the Rams in the first game, here's the one thing I'm going to say. If we did come in at the third spot and we got one of those West Coast teams, they're going to have to play here in Chicago in this weather, where it's right now 22 degrees. Okay, that makes a difference, especially if you're running the rock. Now, 49ers, McCaffrey, he's going to run in this weather. So that's going to be an issue. But as far as the Seahawks and the Rams are concerned, not as much of a concern.
Seahawks have some backs, man. Charbonnet and Ken Walker are real backs, man.
That's true.
Both of them can run a rock.
That's true. That's true. But Charbonnet's got a silly name, so I'm not afraid of him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
But it's coming up. Do you guys know what time we our game is just against the Lions? What time it is?
Ooh, good question.
Last time I saw it said that they hadn't determined it yet, so I didn't get
it. Yeah, they might be flexing that game.
Yeah. That might be the Sunday night again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd say I don't know.
No, 125. It's gonna be afternoon.
No, okay.
Well,
I say we go in there and handle business, man. Because even though we sewn up our spot, man, we owe them one. So I don't care if they're trying to get Caleb is 270. I just want to get a W against those boys, man. We owe them one because they cooked us. They actually had the biggest margin of victory on us all season, so we definitely owe them.
Oh, they spanked us, man. It was nasty. We owe them. Yeah. We owe them. They punched us in the face.
Yeah, we didn't punch them back as much as we've been punching these other teams. So
right, and we need to play some defense. We need to show that we can play some defense this week.
Yeah, we do.
Come on, Dennis Allen, what you got?
Come up with something. It can't look like last week. Well, I'm Uncle,
I'm nephew.
I'm son. And we're
and
talking.
we're talking Bears. Bear down.
Yes, sir.
Yep.